Hey guys, it's Magic 51. I'm about to do a tarot deck reading for, um, well, somebody I used to work with some years ago. And she has a YouTube channel called Lady J Mystique, but I'm just throughout the video mention her as Lady J, but if you want to look her up, she's on YouTube. She does oracle cards and tarot cards, so in some ways I kind of feel like that in the past life um, that we were related, if you believe in things like that. But anyway, I do, but that's not the point. But I'm just going to do a reading for Lady J, and I asked for permission to begin with, and she says that is okay. So we're just going to do a general reading for Lady J. So which card is the best for this? It looks like the middle one is being called. So I will do the cards just like this. Then I'll do the reveal in a moment. Put that aside first. Oh, but it's out of sight, isn't it? Alright, now for the Thoth. And it goes this way, because I want the reveal to be exact. Okay, now I need to know which card is best for Lady J. Middle. Again, put that aside. Then the reveal will commence very shortly. Oh, and of course, Lady J is familiar with these kind of cards. She is familiar with the Rider-Waite, not only that, but the Thoth deck. Oh, she calls it Thought, and she also, I mean, people call it Toth, Thought, Thoth, Thoth, maybe Thoth. You know, people pronounce it different ways. I don't think it matters in this way, but I'm going with Thoth. I mean, it sounds a little bit cooler to me anyway. Now, according to the Ace of Pentacles, right here, this one is saying that I think you found your path. maybe, I mean, not so much like a calling. Well, is it a calling? Maybe it's a calling of sorts, but I don't know if I would say tarot reading has been your uh, path that you should follow, but I understand that you've become a more spiritual person, just um, like I have since the lockdown. That um, we we had no choice but to find ourselves. It's kind of like the world is resetting itself, and that's how I like to look at it. And you're a grounded person, and not only that, I feel you're very spiritual and a very strong spiritual person. And it's also saying that the Knight of Wands of the Thoth deck, right here, I don't know if you're able to see it. Mm, well, anyway, Knight of Wands on the Thoth. It's saying that you're all about action. You have to put your words into action. I mean, you have a fiery passion for not only just for reading for other people. It seems like it kind of seems like that you're also one of those people who has a passion for music, and I understand um, that you haven't been doing music lately, but um, I mean, thanks to the shutdown, really. I mean, that put some damper onto things, but I think you um, try to look for the positive spin on things rather than say like, "Oh, we're in lockdown. Woe is me," or "Woe is I." Whatever. It's just like you choose to either be depressed or take action on something and follow a new passion that you may or may not have figured that you had some time ago. Now, this one, the Knight of Wands, is all about uh, fire and passion, but I'm just going with my intuition here. You're just going for the ride. You're just, in a matter of speaking, uh, you're going with the flow of things. I mean, we'll get to the failure card in a moment, and this was on reverse. This is the Thoth failure card. I don't wonder if you can see it. I don't know. Focus. I don't know. It says failure. Those things are really printed small. Anyway, um, so it's like you're going with the flow of things. You don't find a lot of things to sort of say, "Oh, well, this is bad. Things are going to go to hell in a moment right now." No, you understand that there's a reality and there's a spiritual side, of course. I mean, you have a balance of that, but you just choose to look at the positive side of things. That's all, and that's not bad either. Of course, you're kind of being realistic at the same time, but you use spirituality as sort of like a armor, sort of like a shield almost, but not in a bad way. Just something you can reflect on to make yourself feel better again and not wallow on the negative stuff. And this is the Six of Swords of the Rider-Waite, and it was on reverse, and it was basically saying that while we're not moving anywhere, look at this. You got the Queen of Wands. Oh, you're all about passion. Oh, you're all about passion. I mean, um, you know that you're not going anywhere anytime soon, but you just choose to take action by knowing what you love to do. And right now, we're just doing videos or podcasts to pass the time, and it's kind of a way to sort of say, "Oh, here's my release, and I'll express what I believe on this podcast, or I'll do a tarot reading on YouTube." Um, you just try to find more things to do instead of just feeling like you're a prisoner in your own home. Pretty much. Um, Queen of Cups. Queen of Cups is all about nostalgia, all about the good feelings. This is called interference. And while this is the smaller version of the Thoth deck, um, it does say interference. I do not kid you not. Now, you have a balance of letting your emotions show or when not to show um, at some parts of your life. I don't think there's any shame in showing your emotions, but at the same time, I kind of feel like you needed to have that balance anyway. I mean, I kind of feel like if you have an overflowing uh, part of your side of your emotions showing, like you're too angry or too sad or too depressed or whatever like that, you have to find that uh, balance to sort of say, okay, I'm allowed to feel depressed, but I'll try to find an alone time or someplace where I can sort of um, you know, maybe take a moment to myself, maybe in the restroom, coaching me back to my better version of myself. But there's nothing wrong with uh, crying and all of this stuff. I mean, these are real emotions, but I just think you found a way to balance it out, and you're not letting things interfere with your life. I mean, it's not just because this interference card is in front of here. That's what it's called, but I kind of feel like all of this um, feelings that you're keeping inside you show it in a way where you're not throwing it out on the unsuspecting person that didn't deserve it. And maybe you keep a journal or something like that. Maybe a diary. I mean, whatever you're doing to keep your emotions in check, um, you're you're doing a fine job at it. Maybe a little bit better than me, but I mean, I we Pisceans are sometimes like overly emotional. I'm an empath, and I kind of soak up people's energy like a sponge when they're not my own emotions at time. Um, the Ace of Swords and Fortune, and otherwise known as the Wheel of Fortune, but since I'm using both Thoth and the Rider Waite, the Ace of Swords, and Fortune has actually shown up. Now, basically, this means that you have the means and the will to carry on and move forward, no matter what life throws at you. That you feel like you may have lost maybe a lot of the things that you usually did at the time, maybe some of the connections to kind of get you out of the house and make you busy and stuff like that. But I kind of also feel like that you know how to balance it out too, so it's not altogether negative. I mean, if you want to look at the reverse cards being negative, it doesn't necessarily have to be negative. But I kind of feel like you're needing more emotional balance, and I think you've worked on it on this emotional balance thing the hardest, and nobody can say that you haven't, because you know in your heart and your soul that you've actually were working hard at this emotional balance kind of thing. And the Hermit, I think everybody feels like this right now. I mean, the Hermit is kind of teaching us that we're kind of forced to find ourselves now. Look at this. The Prince of Wands, too. So, we're kind of, in a manner of speaking, we're in this spiritual journey together, where we need to rediscover ourselves again. You know, why in some ways the lockdown has been positive for us. Yes, there's negative aspects to it. I'm not saying there isn't, but what the positive side is that a lot of people have reconnected with nature, and they have reconnected to their spiritual self. Maybe they've even discovered that they were Christian all along, and they find themselves being a born-again Christian. I mean, that's all great news, and there are just some other people that haven't found themselves too, but we're not going to be focusing on that crowd. We're going to be focusing on a crowd that most people nowadays actually have found themselves again. And this is where you're coming from, because you feel that people need this kind of thing to shake them up to find themselves again. And well, I'm not saying anything, that this is just what the cards are telling me and my own interpretations and advice, really. But no, I'm not saying, Lady Jane, that you caused this. I don't know if it sounded like it. I apologize if it did. I'm just saying that from your point of view, you kind of feel like you're able to handle this situation as well as many people needed time to adjust to this lockdown, to discover that themselves, no matter how long it took them, they were able to find their true selves again. And you know how much um, the media and just the internet just takes away from our life. I mean, not that it's necessarily a bad thing, but there's just misinformation out there. I mean, media and internet sites out there that just carry misinformation. But taking a break from just watching the media and just enjoy being outside, taking a walk, resets your spirituality juice that you've been needing to jumpstart to begin with. So in some ways, it's kind of like I am grateful to actually discover that about myself, and I'm sure that you are just um, as well grateful that uh, you discover your spiritual side as well. And you're just probably at this point kind of like saying, um, Goddess Isis or God, or just insert your appropriate deity here, kind of thing. Universe, show me what I'm supposed to do to move forward in life. Sure enough, you're going to get a sign. It's very subtle, but you're going to get a sign, and only you can recognize that as that sign. Nobody else is going to see it as a sign but you, because they'll deem you as a crazy person when, example being, a bird feather just dropped out of the sky when you asked if the angels are nearby. And if a white bird feather of some kind, or not pure white, but close enough, like like a white bird feather with gray and kind of like a black tip on it, um, falls down, and that's the sign for you, then you know the truth. It doesn't matter what other people say, if they believe you or not. You know the truth. Just like I know the truth. And the people who say that these cards don't hold any power, well, yes and no. It's the interpreter that actually who reads the cards kind of carry the power out by reading the cards like I do right now, and it sort of comes alive that way. But the cards itself, they don't have any real magical possession to them at all. I have to, in some ways, to make the reading work, I have to believe that they do have some kind of power, but the cards itself don't have the power alone. I need to interpret it to kind of jumpstart it. And that'll do for the tarot deck reading for Lady J. And this is Magic 51 signing off.